LA. My coffee just finished brewing, so it's time to come on and discuss today's awesome college hoop slate. We've brought a special guest to help us find some best bets for today. But before we get started, today's podcast is presented by Props.Cash. We 100% cannot do what we do without Props.Cash. So if you think you're ready to level up your prop betting game, use code PTM at sign up to get 25% off your first month. Good morning, boys. Welcome back to the pod, Ghost. How's it going?
It's a great day to be a great day.
All right. Always.
And we're excited because Ghost has joined us in the PTM Discord a couple weeks back, just in time for March Madness, and has brought some major heat. Has been on fire, just cashing picks after picks, 4-unit picks, 3-unit picks, 2-unit picks, ladders, everything. So it's been a really fun thing to watch what you're doing.
Oh yeah, we're getting crazy.
And you've been making some serious money for people, which is always what we're trying to do.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, the last 3 bets that we've lost have been because due to injury and an ejection. You know how crazy that is, but I guess it's March. So anything can happen.
You know what though? Those you should, obviously they sting, but you feel good about it because your logic was
no,
right.
it's kind of making sense.
Analysis was right, and you just got a bad beat. So all good. But yeah, love watching the picks you're putting out, and excited to kind of hear what you got today. There are 100, I think over 100 college basketball games today.
And we need to. I want to preface this to everybody watching or anybody watching. Please be diligent and be cautious about these games, because some of these games we might see again in literally a span of 2 or 3 days in these conference tournaments. So please don't think it's a need all be like yeah. So remain with means. Yeah.
Don't blow your budget before March Madness is what you're saying.
Exactly.
We got a lot of games ahead of us, so
yes,
these are exciting games. But put a couple units on this today, make some money.
Oh my gosh,
we're gonna keep making more money over.
This line is moving as we're speaking.
All right, so let's get it out quickly.
Okay.
We got 4 games to go over today that we're gonna highlight. There are 15 games of top 25 teams facing. We're gonna cover 4 of those. There is one game that Ghost wanted to get to right away because it tips off in less than an hour. So let's start with Arkansas at Alabama. Alabama is minus 15 in this game. At least it was. Total in this game, 174. That's like a Pistons game. So let's go. Let's hear what you got on this one.
Exactly. I think defense is going to be, I don't know, non-existent, if that's what you want to call it. And if I'm being intentional with my hat wear today, we're going to be betting on former dog. Yes, former Butler Bulldog, Khalif Battle. In the last 2 minutes, his line has moved from literally 20.5 to 21.5. And an hour ago, his line was at 19.5. And this is all on FanDuel. As you see in his last 5, he scored an average of 31 points. And I do want to say this. Coach Musselman is on the chopping block and could be fired this offseason, which gives Battle the opportunity to transfer again. So I think Battle here could be using these next, 2-3 games with the SEC tournament coming up next week as, I don't know, like some type of resume builder, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, he's showcasing.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly. Because it's not abnormal for this 3-time transfer, 2-time transfer to, that's a great look. Wow, it just moved again from over 21.5 at plus 102 to now over 21.5 minus 106.
Yeah,
guys, come on.
Lock it in. I'm sure you can go shop around and find this still at 20.5 on some.
Hey, FanDuel, leave, get off. This is for everybody else. This isn't for you, please.
Look at that. I mean, you don't see a lot of college players scoring 30 points, let alone 42 points just 4 games ago. So what's changed? Why is this guy on fire of late?
Well, to be quite honest, there have been some rumblings within the team, and some guys have been dismissed off of the team. So, which have allowed him to play more minutes, have more field goal attempts, and really, I think it was that Ole Miss game when he went off, and it was just like, okay, Musselman was just like, all right, I'm gonna give him just let him, because you see his field goal attempts. I mean, compared to the non-con, I was looking earlier this morning. The non-conference schedule, he was averaging about 7 field goal attempts, and he's averaging almost like triple that now, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, yeah. So, I think this is just a storyline of a lot of because a lot of these guys are transfers and not really understanding the makeup of their team till it was too late. And now I think these guys are just trying to, so
Showcase.
yeah. Exactly.
I mean, this is obviously Alabama. Has got the edge here. It's a 15-point spread. But the beauty of college is short game. They're not gonna pull these guys out, even if it's a blowout. So he should get the minutes to get the 21 points, maybe even the 22. Could see him potentially putting up like a.
And a metric that I look at is KenPom offensive and defensive efficiency. And Alabama ranks similarly to Kentucky, which is where Khalif scored 34 at Kentucky. Yeah. So, and I think they're very similar play style of teams too, pace wise. So, yeah.
You're totally right. So Alabama is 350th out of 363 Division I teams. So they don't play defense, and Arkansas is 341st. So they don't play defense, right? So this is going to be just a complete shootout. Alabama does have the number 1 offense in the country now, so they're going to be scoring a lot. But Arkansas, behind Battle as the 76th top offense. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Get this one on in 50 minutes and lock in this bet before it keeps moving up.
Yeah, and I know Tom has his coffee, and if you're not a coffee drinker, you want to wake up, just turn on this game. It'll wake you up. How fast he'll be. It's
exactly. All right, let's move on. Next game we're going to cover. This is also a real offensive shootout. We got Kentucky at Tennessee. Kentucky's 15th in the country. Tennessee's number 4. Line on this one is Tennessee at home -7.5 total. Again, monster total for college hoops. You don't see totals this high usually. 167 points. Tennessee's got the rebounding edge, ranked 35th in the country, but Kentucky's pretty good at 72. Scoring wise, actually, Kentucky's number 3 in the country, so they're up there big time with Alabama, who we just talked about. Tennessee's also good scoring, number 42 in the country. Defensively is really where these teams differentiate. Kentucky can't play defense, 339th in the country, whereas Tennessee is actually pretty good defensively, 52nd in the country. So these two teams played once earlier this season in Kentucky. Tennessee won that one 103-92. They're 8-1 since that game. Kentucky's actually been doing pretty good since that game too, 7-2. So both teams are riding pretty good hot streaks. Tennessee, to me, seems definitely like the better team. But let's find some player props in this one.
Well, so who I was gonna look at, and just to start off, I do like the Wildcats in this spot.
So
yes,
to win or to cover +7
to cover. But I honestly do think it's gonna be a 1 or 2 possession game. So I want to so I think today we're gonna have a couple of these games, just like UNC and Duke, which we'll get into here later, where we've talked about certain teams about, they're going to turn it on in March. They're going to turn it on when, the games matter. I think the Kentucky Wildcats are that type of a team. We've all kind of, they had the talent. Calipari, he says that he's just this is a get right game then. You're playing a Tennessee team that's already won the conference. They really, it's senior day. They know they're going to win the game.
Yeah. They have an opportunity to really improve their position.
Exactly.
Right. They're ranked right now. That puts them around a 4 or 5 seed. They win today, they could push up to like a 3 seed. So, I think that they definitely have more to play for in this one than Tennessee does. So good point.
And the way, and I'm gonna segue this into the player prop I like. And the way I've kind of looked at this Kentucky team and some of these players, it's just like how some of these young cats just kind of think. It's just like the more cameras, the more lights, the better that they play, and the better that they like care in a way, which is so bad. Like it's bad to say, but I don't know how else to explain it. But Dillingham points.
I knew that was going to be your guy. You introduced him to us. It was probably 6 weeks ago when you were first on. Didn't even know who the guy was. I've been watching him since. He is just a phenomenal player in a much bigger role. And when the ball's in his hands, he looks like he is ready for the NBA. So tell us what you like. You like his points?
His points. It's actually the lowest line available is actually on FanDuel at 13.5. It's 14.5 everywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're right. Minus 120 on FanDuel. DraftKings has it at minus 120 for 14.5, which is you don't see that very often.
No, that's great value. In last 5, he's actually averaged 17. Last 10, average 17. Last 15, average 16. Man, I know. Real quick, I get this is a Tennessee team that is great on defense, but what I'm going to say to counter that is let me look up his field goal attempts.
We can pull it up right here.
Yeah. Go to his.
He's averaging 11.4 field goal attempts, but over the last 2 games, he had 13 and 15. And against Tennessee, when they played 10 games ago or whatever that was, he had 20 field goal attempts. So
that's what I'm saying. He loves to come out when the lights are out, when the cameras are out. Right? I don't know. Because he does have a camp. Because I look into this. I love this. When Calipari refers to Rob, he refers to him as him and his camp. So obviously Rob has because Rob is getting paid a significant amount of money via NIL to be there. So I'm thinking maybe he thinks the scouts, or he's being told scouts are watching certain games, or I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, this one's I'm assuming this one's nationally televised. It's on
it's on CBS, I think, at 4.
It's on at 4 p.m. There's gonna be a lot of eyes on this one for sure. This guy's going to the NBA is my assumption, and he's been stepping it up big time. And we didn't even say he scored 35 points against Tennessee last time. So this is a phenomenal matchup at 13.5 points. Grab that, because FanDuel is going to wake up soon and bump that up to 14.5. And as we get closer and closer to 4 p.m., this could sneak up to even closer to 15.5 is my guess.
I think they're in here because what was happening with the Khalif battle number.
They're watching.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
All right, cool. You got anything else in this game?
No. I know FanDuel released a boost. I honestly, if you want to alternate Kentucky, I just don't see how if Kentucky loses this game by double digits, I don't see how Calipari can talk to his team and try to motivate them going into the SEC tournament after getting mollywopped by a team that they're going to have to play if they want to win the SEC tournament championship. So So we'll see.
I mean, Kentucky's 53% against the spread this year, whereas Tennessee's 57%. So they're both pretty good against the spread. But, you do see some teams, Arkansas, for example, 40% against the spread. So plus 7.5 sounds good. I'm always scared about taking away teams in like a rocking environment on a Saturday afternoon when all the college kids are ready to like ramp it up that night. But yeah, I think everything you said about motivation and who's playing for more. Senior nights can be weird too. Let me know your thoughts. But I know after watching Duke UNC, we'll talk about it in a minute. I know UNC is a team where they actually put out their bench to start the game. Like all the seniors actually play the first couple minutes until the possession. And that actually in the past, that screwed them up like that. They can fall into a hole. I don't know if Tennessee is going to do the same thing, if they're going to play any bench players, if they're actually going to start their true starters. But that's also almost a disadvantage for some of these home teams on senior night.
I actually had a 2-unit on Harrison Ingram that I gave out on the Discord on Tuesday, and I didn't know, and it was their senior night, and I did not know this.
Oh, you should have texted me,
But
man.
I mean, luckily he still hit it, but he still, but I did not. It wasn't that fact. I was like, oh, that's fine. I was appreciating it, you know. But then but it wasn't like they played for like 30 seconds or like a possession. He left him in for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, come on, Coach Davis, come on.
Right. Let's get the real team out there.
Yeah, come on.
All right, cool. So we got those 2 games. Let's move on to the next. We got Kansas and Houston. That's probably the best game on the board, right? Houston's number 1 in the country. They are -8.5 at home. Total is 138. So we just talked about a 167-point game, 174-point game. Now we're down to a 138-point game. Why is that? Houston is number 1 in the country in defense, right? They give up 50-something points a game. They are really good defensively. They're not that great offensively, 164th in the country, so they don't score a ton of points, but that's partially because the defensive style. Pretty good at rebounding, 63rd in the country, going up against a Kansas team that is also decent defensively, 78th in the country, good at scoring, 84th in the country, and not so great rebounding, 139th in the country. These 2 teams played earlier this season. Kansas actually won that game at home, 78-65. So obviously a revenge spot for Houston at home. So let's start with the game. What do you like from the game's perspective?
I was honestly going to say, so kind of like I was saying, that Kentucky-Tennessee game, and we're going to get to Duke UNC. This is a game where we're saying, Kansas is they're a contender. They're a contender. They're a contender. They win today.
Yeah.
They don't cover. They win today. Because they're playing a Houston team that already has a share of the conference regular season championship.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Kansas had the biggest negative to Kansas is the fact that they have a short bench. They don't have the depth that they did last year. So if they can't win a game at the beginning of March, on March 9th, with their short bench against a Houston team that's already clinched a share of then I want you to try to explain to me how you think they can play 3 weeks worth of games on a span of 4 days rest on average. Yeah. No, I can't see like.
And they're in a similar position as Kentucky, right? They're ranked 14th overall in the country, so they're right on that like 3 or 4 seed. Winning here pushes them probably to a strong 3 seed if they do well in the conference tournament as well. That's the hard thing about all these like big conferences. It's like you can finish off your regular season with a great win, and then you go right into your conference tournament games, play the same team that you just beat potentially and lose, and then
exactly
you went from a 3 seed to a 5 seed in like overnight. So it's very tough in these big, strong conferences. So, all right. So let's talk about player props. I have a feeling you got somebody on the Kansas side. Am I correct?
Yeah. So I was gonna say Hunter Dickinson, under. Let me look at what the because this is one of those lines where I think it's different at every shop.
Yeah, we got 16 and a half.
60. Oh my gosh.
MGM, DraftKings, not even available on FanDuel, which is crazy. 16 and a half, yeah. Which he's cleared in what is that? 6 of his last 10. He did have 20 points against Houston last time they played. So tell me why.
No. Okay, so before we start recording, this line was 17 and a half. So the fact on FanDuel it was 17 and a half, and everywhere else is 16 and a half. So they've obviously bumped it down. I don't know if I played the under. I think Kevin McCullough, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, is probably going to play. He's probable right now. But I think he is actually going. I think he's actually going to play. And he's the lap. He just came back from an injury, and I think they need to get him kind of like going, get his leg, like get him back into rhythm, going into tournament play, I guess if that's what you want to call it. And I think Hunter won't be as aggressive as you've seen here recently because you scroll back up to his last 5. A lot of those games were without Kevin, so he was the only option, the number one like go to. So you don't look at all this green and think, oh my God, he's okay. No. As if Kevin plays, which I assume and think he will, against this, if I think KenPom ranks Houston as the number 1 or number 2 top defense in the country at home, and I'm gonna flip that narrative that we were just talking about Kansas to Houston. This is their first year in the conference. Getting a shared, let alone winning the whole conference, is an unbelievable mark. I think Coach Sampson is telling his guys that here on senior night, that's history. And I think that's why I think we see what the spread is. It's not much more disrespect to Kansas. It's the fact that like respect to Houston and like trying to let people know like this isn't a fluke. Like we've seen Houston in the last 5 years make the Elite Eight, I think at least. And now they have the backing of this conference and I just
took over. So,
like
I said, they're giving up 57.3 points per game, right? So they are stout defensively. They did give up 78 points to Kansas last time they played, but I don't at home. I don't see that happening again. So it is kind of smart to lean on a under in this game.
And I think Jawan Roberts, who's going to be the primary defender on Dickinson. I think he is a senior, and so it's a senior day. That's like that little senior day narrative, that like you're coming into my house. We're gonna win. There's no way you scored 20 on me. Like, come on. I love this.
Nice. So I'm looking at the last box score from the previous matchup. On the Houston side, LJ Cryer put up 24 points. So he led the scoring over there. Dickinson did lead the scoring with 20. McCullough had 17. What do you think about Cryer today? Did you take a look at him?
No, I honestly did not look at any of the Houston guys because my thing on senior days at home, you don't know who's going to go off because they might want certain guys to get touches, certain guys to hit a mark, certain guys to last possession here, you never know. So, yeah. So I don't want to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to lean one way, again, I don't know enough about who's in the lineup, but it does seem like Cryer's the guy on the Houston side. He has put up cleared his line of 16.5 points. What is that? 6 of his last 10 games when he plays 30 plus minutes. And if you look at his minutes of late, he is his minutes are up on the rise, right?
Wait. Let me search what Jamal Schmid is. Because if Jamal Schmid is a senior, hold on. Okay. Wait, hold on. But so is LJ. Wait, so they're both seniors. Yeah, they're both.
Yeah.
So they're both seniors. Okay. What I will say though is this is more of Jamal Schmid's team. He's the number 1 guy. He's been a Houston guy. Cryer's a transfer from Baylor. This is first year. So I would just that's what I was kind of saying. These senior days, it's Schmid's team. So is he gonna take more shots, be more aggressive, be the guy, try to get the win just to say that he's the guy that got the win on team. You know what I mean?
Last game at home, right? So
yeah.
And he gets some minutes. Look at his minutes. He's up at 36.7 minutes over the last 10 games. And And look at that. He's got like games. He's basically in the entire game, 39 minutes,
I
38 minutes. So
I think Coach Sampson called him like his like third or second son or something. I'll have to find the quote here. No, but I'm telling you that Coach Sampson like thinks is this kid as like himself on the floor. That's why the only time he goes off the floor is like whether he's hurt or is in foul trouble. But he tries to keep him in as much as possible, and I love that. Like I don't know. Yeah, I like that. Like that.
all right, cool. So anything else from this game?
No.
All right, let's stop talking about the appetizers and let's talk about the main course here. We got Duke UNC. You can tell where my allegiance is, but I know for sure this will be a good game after watching a lot of these over my time. This game's at 6:30 at night. UNC's coming into Durham, into Cameron, ranked number 7th in the country. Duke is number 9th in the country. Both are really good against the spread. UNC is 60% against the spread, and Duke is 62% against the spread. Duke is minus 5.5 at home. Totals 151. How do these two teams match up? So UNC's elite rebounding. We talked about this, I think, last time Ghost was on the pod. 8th overall in the country rebounding versus Duke, who's actually improved quite a lot over the last 10 games. They were ranked like in the 150s last time these two teams played each other. Now they're down to 108. So still, huge rebounding advantage for UNC, but Duke's improving there. Scoring-wise, UNC is also a better scoring team, 24th in the country versus Duke, 42nd. What does that translate to? Probably just a couple points difference. So they're pretty equal there. Defensively is where Duke has the edge, 45th in the country versus UNC at 115th. We put together an early bird report in the Discord every day that shows the teams with the biggest mismatches. And when we looked at the top 25 teams that are playing, Duke UNC actually was at the bottom of the list, basically meaning that this game is the biggest parity in terms of all the games. So this should be a really close game is my assumption. UNC did win at Chapel Hill, 93-84 when they played. So this is a revenge spot for Duke. First of all, give us your take on the game.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I will preface this by saying I have no allegiance to either side.
Right.
Either side. And actually, the past week and a half, I've been the biggest non-Blue Devil here. Okay. And I think they're getting a little bit too much respect. I mean, yes, they've been playing a lot better here recently, but for what have we not seen from UNC for them to how much did they win the first game by? It's 8.
They won the first game 93-84. It was 9-point spread.
Okay, and I get it. Oh, and I think the narrative is they don't want UNC to to win the conference by themselves. Like they still want a share of it or something. And I after what happened last year or that Coach K year, I don't care if UNC can go there and win on Coach K. They could play for the Duke name, the brand. I don't care the stadium. There's no narrative that is going to let me think that Duke has a better no, especially if I might argue Duke's roster on Coach K night or whatever was better than it is tonight. That's basically made up of, a majority of freshmen or underclassmen at the very least.
Yeah.
So hey, and this is what I'm going to say too. If Duke wins this game on the flip side, if Duke can win this game and let alone cover the spread, then the Duke Final Four talk is legitimate. Is legitimate. Is not all. Is legitimate.
I think UNC, as you said on one of your spaces recently, is a really good contender for the national championship. A lot of value to put some money on them, probably still. But with that said, this is a game that we were talking about motivation for the other games. It's a senior night or this guy's last game or whatever. This is a game that just comes with built-in motivation. Both these teams are hungry, ready to win. It's their second, matchup of the season. So this game's going to be on fire. I think it'll be close. To be honest with you, I wouldn't take Duke minus 5.5. I think if Duke does win, it'll probably be like a 3-point game, 2-point game, 1 possession win. But let's hear what you got in terms of player props.
So I think UNC's best, their most important player in March, is going to be no other than Harrison Ingram. If we are talking about UNC in April, it's because of Harrison Ingram. He might not be the best player. I didn't say he's the best player, but I said the most important player because he is the guy that does all. Okay. And one prop I was looking at specifically, if anybody knows, if you know, you know, is his rebounds. His rebounds. I know the stats and everything will tell you that Baycott is the best rebounder in the team and then the comp. No. It is Ingram. It is Ingram. It is Ingram. It is Ingram. I promise you. I think here in the past week, he's already I think technically they're first and second in the whole conference in rebounds. Okay, which is absolutely
the two of those guys grabbing.
Yes, it's them, yep. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And my argument, and people might not agree with this, it might be a hot take, is that I think Ingram, as we go into March, is going to be on the floor more than Baycott, because I do think that there might be certain matchups where Baycott could be a liability. And Ingram is, like I said, a guy that does all, plays defense, is a hustle guy, telling you, he's a transfer from Stanford. Oh, man.
We talked about this last time, but you can see beginning of the season, he started with 27 minutes, 26 minutes, kind of peaked, fell back down. But lately in the last 10 games, including that Duke UNC game, he's playing 34.8 minutes on average, played 39 minutes against Duke. So he was on the floor the entire game. And he went off. I mean, honestly, looking at that game, if he didn't play the way he played, that would have been a much closer game. He was hitting everything. But he was also grabbing a lot of boards. He put up, 13 rebounds in that game. Had a couple down games after that against Clemson and Miami, which have legitimate big men that can board. But then since then, he's been on fire. The only game he didn't clear 9.5 rebounds was against NC State. So, and coming off a 14 rebound game against Notre Dame. So I think this is a phenomenal spot. You've been cashing tickets on this guy all season. Why not one more tonight?
That's why I know FanDuel released a boost on him. I might release it to the public. I don't know. But Harrison Ingram, do not be okay. If UNC wins with their 5.5-point dogs, if UNC wins this game, it's a great chance that Harrison Ingram. It's because Harrison Ingram has a double-double or somewhat near of a double-double.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying UNC success equals Harrison Ingram goes off. That's the equation for March for you Tar Heel fans.
Yeah. So maybe take Ingram 9.5 points and parlay it with the UNC plus 5.5 or something like that.
Yeah.
That could be a good look. Or if you want to give yourself a little bit more buffer, do a little altered line and take UNC plus 7.5, 8.5 points, something like that, with Ingram 10 rebounds. That could be a nice plus money parlay.
And on the flip side, okay, this could be a legacy game. Legacy game for Jared McCain, the young freshman. I'm not gonna kid with you. I was like, oh, okay, he's a good player. Until their last matchup, his first matchup as a true freshman at UNC, where he dropped 23? What was it? 23 points as a true freshman.
He kept them in that game for sure.
As a true freshman. And I think let's be technical here with the data, with props cash. Look at his field goal attempts. Hold on.
Yeah, he's averaging 11.9 field goal attempts. Against UNC, he had 18 field goal attempts. And if we filter him, it looks like if we get him to 10 plus field goal attempts on the season, which is way below what he did against UNC. He's got a 71% hit rate. If we bump that up to 11, he's got an 82% hit rate. That's really the sweet spot. If he gets 11 plus field goal attempts, 82% hit rate on the season. Let's see if that gets better. You can do this on PropSet Cash. Look at him at home. That's pretty nice, right? When he takes 11 plus field goal attempts at home, he's cleared this in 6 out of 7 games, which is an 86% hit rate. The only one was against Boston College. So I think that's a great spot.
And like I was kind of saying, senior night, senior day. I know Jeremy Roach is a senior here, but if you look at Jeremy's line, FanDuel has already added that senior tax to 15 and a half. Because if you look at his splits, there's no reason his over-under should be 15 and a half. I'm sorry, there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. And that right there is I'm weird about this. I feel like that's telling me stay away. Like even if he hits that because of like free throws at the end of the game. I think Jared, I was looking into their YouTube. They do this like where I think the players went and talked to the crazies or whatever last night or this morning. And like all the players were standing and only one player spoke. One player spoke. You know who that player was? Jared McCain.
Yeah.
McCain. It's McCain's team. You're seeing it through their social media handles. You're seeing it how Coach Shire is referring to the team, talking about the team, talking about Jared individually compared to the other players. And I think I know everybody's saying that or assuming that he might go to the league. But I think Jared could be one of those maybe 2-3 year players where he's a staple, especially with the NIL backing that Duke has. That could So,
all right, yeah. McCain led the team in scoring in the last game against UNC, putting up 23. Roach did have 20, but like you said, that does feel like a
look at his threes.
Who, McCain?
Yeah. Because FanDuel released 2 different boosts, Boost Builder and a 30% profit boost. You can add the threes onto the same game parlay profit boost that they've offered, but you can add it to your Boost Builder. And I think his threes might be a good look for the Boost Builder if you want to just add a selection from this game. Let's can you look at his home threes? Split.
Actually, sorry, that was
okay, yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
so
recently he's cleared in 5 of his last 7 games, so that's great. And then at home, which is like 2 months worth of games, he's actually cleared in 10 of 18 overall in the season and 6 of his last 10. So yeah, that could be a good look as well.
Yeah, and oh man.
I'm looking at the box score right now. He also had 11 rebounds in that game.
That's why I know his points, rebounds, and assists on ESPN Bet and DraftKings offer it. But I just with it being Jeremy Roach's senior, that's why I was saying that it's that Jeremy Roach senior. So I don't know how much
stick with the points, maybe the threes.
Yeah,
are good looks.
Yeah.
On the UNC side, all right. So we like Ingram. Ingram put up 21 and 13 against Duke last time. Baycott also dominated. I don't see him not having a good game tonight. He put up 25 and 10 in that game. And then obviously one of their best players, RJ Davis, played 38 minutes in that game, had 17 points. He was off to a slow start in that game. You like anything for RJ Davis tonight?
No, quite honestly, I'm not saying I'm not an RJ Davis fan, but I do think RJ Davis is a little bit overrated, just a little bit. I think any guy that shoots 17, 18 field goal attempts a game should be dropping the amount of points he's dropping.
He's ready
so I'm not.
NBA then.
Like that. Like I'm not really like because ever since Caleb Love, who transfers to Arizona. Mm-hmm. Which I think highly of. he's been the guy. So he's gotten up his field goal attempts. And that's what I'm saying. You're anybody that's looking at the screen. If you're trying to tell me Baycott is if there's a totem pole of the Tar Heels, I think it's Davis, Ingram, Baycott. And I'd argue, like I've been saying this whole time, Ingram equals UNC success in March.
Yeah.
That is the key. That is the key. That is the key.
All right. So we like Ingram on the UNC side, and we like McCain on the Duke side. I think those are both good plays. Anything else before we wrap up?
So should I just, or do you want to
go for it? Yeah.
So we'll be releasing a March Madness bracket group via ESPN that you can all enter for free. You'll just have to all follow us and the rest of the team via Proptology, Boot, and the rest of the gang. We'll release the details with a graphic here later in the day with all the details and the link to join the group. But yeah, and there's a $150 pot. It's free to enter. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to follow us. That's it. It's really free. So,
yeah. It's good. I mean, it's always fun. In addition to putting out our player props, our game props, having a bracket is always like fundamental to having a good March. So if you're gonna probably sign up for one, you might as well enter that into our pool as well, and try to win some money and obviously some bragging rights as well. So good stuff. So Tom, I'll kick you.
Wait, real quick. With these conference tournaments that have started, okay, please understand that a lot of these games being played today could have a reflection on seeding, okay? And we're seeing that the conference tournament outrights, like conference tournament winner outrights, are already being released, and they'll continue to be released. I forgot to touch on this when we were talking about the UNC Duke game. If UNC wins that game, hold on, I was just looking at it. The ACC, okay, because right now UNC has a share of the regular season. Okay, their only team. They're plus 190. The favorite to win the tournament as of right now are the Blue Devils at plus 165.
The ACC tournament, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if UNC stays within that number or keeps that competitive game nonetheless, that plus 190, let alone that plus 165, whatever you think, is going to be non-existent after the game.
Yeah.
So whatever either side, whatever you're thinking, just a little nugget there, little nugget. Sorry.
Yeah, start looking ahead, right? You got conference tournaments, you got futures for the NCAA pool, so full tournament. So go grab those. All right.
We got a couple comments here, real quick. We have Call Me PB3 on X said, "My man Ghost's energy is unmatched," which I would agree 100%.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
As others have said in the spaces, Ghost for president. We're making a campaign. It's a little
appreciate
late.
her.
We're gonna make a hard push for Ghost for president.
and then real quick, we had Mr. Photos asked, any plus 200 parlay combos you like today?
I mean, well, we were kind of touching base on it in that Duke game. Okay, so what I would say is do Khalif Battle 20 plus points, Houston money line, and I mean, I think that I don't know what. And then if you want to, oh man, and then do like a UNC alternate spread or Harrison Ingram 10 plus points. That should be about plus 200 right there.
Yeah, I would suggest just take the picks we gave, right? And all
literally, yeah, exactly.
A little bit, right? You take them from 21 points down to 20 points, Take them from 10 rebounds down to 8 rebounds, whatever is available on the alt market. Put 2 of those together, you'll get plus 200. So don't get too creative. Just go with the picks we said and play those.
Yeah, good advice, Dave. All right, I think that does it, boys. Nice work. Everyone enjoy the games here, and let's all make some money.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.